Stop what you're doing and duck under your desk. Democrats are saying the N-word.
This is very dangerous. That everything we're doing right now smacks of the Cold War. And what we're talking about is launching nukes at each other. If you launch missiles at us, we have to launch missiles at you, and it will never end.
Countries only threaten to use nukes when their very survival's at stake. The fact that Democrats are threatening to go nuclear is a tell.
I want the country to have a completely nonpartisan drawing of the lines based on the census. But if they're going to do that and go nuclear, so am I.
Have you noticed what Democrats have been willing to die for? Trump basically banned windmills. No reaction. Remember global warming was going to end the world? Guess not. They firebombed Teslas. Why? They did that because Doge discovered USAID. That was their little money laundering racket. They went to the mattresses for that. When else did Democrats get violent? ICE raids. They rioted to keep illegals. Now, why do they want to keep illegals here so badly? Political power. Illegals' kids will vote Democrat. But also, illegals are counted in the census, and the census determines congressional districts. So the more illegals you have in New York and California, the more House seats Democrats get. These are the three legs to the Democrat bar stool: USAID, illegals, and gerrymandering.
We are in a fight for democracy, a fight for our democratic lives. And I think that if the Republicans can have their will in these deep red states, the Democratic states have to step up. We have to have a national fight about this.
Now, do you see why them losing a few House seats in Texas turned into a national fight? Now do you see why they're dropping the N-word? Barack Obama has been very quiet, but he came out with a blistering attack on Texas. Barry knows. The Raging Cajun is taking this so seriously that he's threatening to colonize an island.
If the Democrats win the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2028, which is not impossible, they are just going to have to unilaterally add Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia states, and they may have to expand the court to 13 members. If you want to save democracy, I think you got to do all of those things.
Pack the court, add 2 Democrat states, 52 stars on the flag. Why? Just because Texas is redrawing some lines? This type of battle cry to save democracy is reaching the same fever pitch that we heard right before Butler. Now, some people say, let's only kick out the criminal illegals. Let's wait till 2030 to redistrict. Let's just chill on Doge. You're playing into their hands. The Democrat Party has waged unrelenting political warfare for 3 decades. The president's been shot, spied on, arrested, impeached twice. We've been debanked, censured. Republicans' homes have been raided. Republicans have been shackled, investigated, abused. The country was invaded. Our tax dollars are being stolen by their nonprofits. Their schools are indoctrinating our children. They're conducting sick operations on them. They've corrupted athletics, staged coups, been caught ballot harvesting. Hi, Wanda. It's been a bloodthirsty battle for power, and we haven't even been fighting until now. Finally, Trump's fighting back. And this time, he's not fighting for his own political survival. The Democrat Party is. They just lost 7 swing states. Donors lost over $1 billion. They're struggling to defend the biggest cover-up in U.S. history, and the party's broke and the least popular it's ever been. Kind of makes you realize they've only been competitive because of shenanigans.
Let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020 census by including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump. They sued the administration. They fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens.
We're not going to take it anymore. Trump's drawing a line in the sand. He wants illegals out of the census and out of the country. Quote, I have instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern-day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 24. People who are in our country illegally will not be counted in the census. Democrats used illegal immigration and gerrymandering to rig the map and boost their power in the House. And Trump's saying no mas. With the way the census works, it has to be done in the year that ends with 5. So Trump's on the clock. MSNBC says if he does, Democrats are getting nuked.
Could really be the unraveling of our democratic system if we start getting into a situation where states are just trying to rack up the numbers and paying no attention to their constituents.
Americans put Trump in office for this exact reason, to unravel a corrupt system, a system where politicians got rich off insider trading and got powerful from illegal immigration. Every Republican state should look at the battle lines and do what's right. It's unacceptable to count illegals in a census that gives Democrats back the House. Do you want to give them back the House based off funky numbers so they can have an impeachment hat trick and slow down deportations and keep sending millions of dollars to Guatemala for sex changes and hold hearings on DEI? Nancy Pelosi says if she gets back in power, she wants to start cutting off your kids' ding-a-lings again.
That is something that I'm working for at the national level, and we have, how can I say it, are hoping that we can have gender affirming here for our trans kids, and that it's a sad thing for us.
There's too much at stake. We have to lock in voter ID. We have to gerrymander the reds, kick the migrants out of the country and the census, and get to the bottom of the Biden cover-up. And finally, get accountability for the scoundrels who criminalized America first. But none of this works if we don't round up bad hombres.
This is the kind of thing where people have to step up. I'm stepping up. Hopefully, a whole bunch of other former officers, former ICE agents will step up, and we'll meet those recruitment goals immediately, and we'll help protect this country.
If you believe in America first, join ICE. You get a $50,000 bonus, and you get to jump out of a van and tackle illegals with Superman. Holman says his phone's blowing up.
I actually used to have a LinkedIn account, and I had to shut it down because I had thousands and thousands of people reaching out to me. Bottom line is you got a lot of patriots.
We're talking about the possibility of extinguishing a political party. This party's on the ropes and could be out of power for a very long time if we follow through. They're actually powerless to stop the movement. It's why they're pulling stunts to fool their base into thinking they're fighting. Trump's using the system they created to win. So Democrats are forced to go outside of the system to save what's left of their party. They've been reduced to locking themselves in ICE jails and claiming Holman threw away the key.
We were greeted by a masked agent who refused to give us his name, who refused to show his face, and who proceeded to lock the door, keeping us, in essence, incarcerated here because we cannot go in or out.
We have a new hoax alert.
New hoax alert. New hoax alert. New hoax alert.
Homeland Security says this. This is deeply unserious. The members were not trapped and were free to leave whenever they would like. In fact, the BOP, which manages this facility, had to close the gates to prevent the media from trespassing. In LA, Mayor Karen Bass, still being a Karen, she says Los Angeles is disappearing.
When one breadwinner, one wage earner is gone and disappears, when that is taken away from you, that just doesn't destabilize a family. That destabilizes a neighborhood. But we are not going to allow this administration to destabilize our great city.
Bass claimed ICE raids were shutting down car washes, remember? But Johnny pulled up and got a deluxe.
The mayor says nobody's getting their car washed because of ICE. Well, we're at a car washed. It's packed. So what are we going to do? We're getting our car washed. How busy has it been?
Yeah, every day. All day, busy.
Even though illegals are on the run, L.A. is still running. Karen's just in a tizzy because her political power is disappearing. But nothing's stopping Homan. He's like a bloodhound on the trail. South Park gets it.
Oh, this is bad. Okay.
President Trump's political fortunes are improving. CNBC has his approval rating surging 2 points over the summer. The country backs what he's doing on immigration, and economic optimism is up.
If you voted for Donald Trump, this is exactly, almost to the letter, what you wanted. Element after element, he delivered exactly what he said he was going to do, and that's why his own voters believe that this has been an incredibly successful presidency.
We're 200 days in. Imagine what could be accomplished over the next 200 days if we keep this pace. We already have a big, beautiful rose garden patio. Now the women's high heels won't be sloshing around in the dirt. Happy wife, happy life. See what I mean? Anything's possible. We just have to be Nike and just do it.
Welcome to Hannity. Tonight, the Biden cover-up continues straight ahead. We will bring you all the truly unbelievable details from today's testimony on Capitol Hill, featuring top Biden White House advisor Anita Dunn. Also tonight, my take on the downfall, it's tragic, of Howard Stern.
If woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means, or that I support people who want to be transgender, or I'm for the vaccine, dude, call me woke as you want.
The once legendary radio host suffering from stage 5 Trump COVID woke derangement syndrome. As a result, he might soon be out of a job. But we begin with another chapter from the Democratic Party's radical transformation. Now, last night on the show, we were literally giving you example after example how woke Marxists like Zoran Marxist Mamdani have become the heart and soul of the party. Now, the long-serving Democratic Party establishment, barely clinging on by their dentures, are now echoing Mamdani's insane beliefs, things they would not have said 10, 12, 15 years ago. For example, Nancy Pelosi calling on the federal government to provide sex change operations for children. Take a look.
How is your office responding to the pauses in gender-affirming care here in California?
Well, that is something that I'm working for at the national level, and we have, how can I say, are hoping that we can have gender-affirming care for our trans kids, and that it's a sad thing for us.
First observation, she went after Joe Biden. Joe Biden could go after her for the same problem. She could barely utter 2 sentences. Now, 20 years ago, here's the point. The word transgender wasn't even in Nancy Pelosi's vocabulary. She, at the time, was busy criticizing the Bush White House for not fully securing the border and called on the government to stop all illegal immigration. I'm not making it up. Let's go to the videotape.
Support also enforcing laws, current laws, against those who came here illegally and those who hire illegal immigrants. Yet the Bush administration has refused to do just this.
What? Talk about a dramatic shift. Now our top priority is taxpayer-funded sex change operations for children. So my point here is the views, priorities, the evolution, the beliefs of the Democratic Radical Socialist Marxist Party, they've totally, completely gone off the rails. They have no real identity. And this brings us to yet another example. Raging Cajun, our old friend Crazy James Carville, has never been viewed by his own party as a radical. Remember, he worked for Bill Clinton. Their big government is now over, end of welfare as we know it. But now Carville is openly calling on Democrats to rig future elections and even the U.S. Supreme Court in order to, quote, save democracy. Meanwhile, what happened in the last 10 years? They've undermined democracy. Take a look.
The Democrats win the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2028, which is not impossible. I don't know if you say likely or possible. I don't know what word you know, but it's certainly not impossible. They are just going to have to unilaterally add Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia states. They're going to have to, the Congress does give, the Constitution gives Congress power over federal elections. I don't think they can redistrict, but there are things they're going to do. They're going to have to do it. They're just going to have to do it. And they may have to expand the court to 13 members. If you want to save democracy, I think you got to do all of those things. Because we just of moving further and further away from being anything close to democracy.
Oh, okay. If Democrats get power, he's telling you what they should do. Statehood for D.C. and Puerto Rico, and pack the courts, the U.S. Supreme Court. If President Trump, his fellow Republicans, created 2 new conservative states, if they packed the U.S. Supreme Court and they expanded it, what do you think the likes of James Carville, Nancy Pelosi, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, the Squad, Mamdani, what would they all be saying? They wouldn't like it. According to Democrats, it's only different when they do it. Then it's okay. Now, you're seeing the same thing play out right now with redistricting and gerrymandering. Now, this is a game. Democrats, they have written the rules. They have mastered gerrymandering for decades in blue state after blue state after blue state. But when Republicans in a red state like Texas redraw the congressional lines, it is undermining democracy. It is racist. This is unbelievable. As you can see, while the core beliefs of the Democratic Party, they have now shifted to the extreme. They're nothing like the party they used to be. But their tactics, they do remain the same, although they have added, a lot of new words. They like the word Nazi, and they like to use Nazi analogies every day, always looking to game the system, gain power, while smearing, slandering, besmirching their own political opponents as the true villains. Here's another example. Democrat Stacey Abrams, Georgia, telling us how she really feels about President Trump, as if I care. But I'll play it anyway.
I use the term autocracy because that describes a system of government where one position holds absolute power. Among the many other vile things that Donald Trump has been called, including tyrant, liar, scam artist, he is also an aspiring dictator, supported and guided like a puppet by a cabal of tech billionaires, Christian nationalists, and xenophobes who all have his ear and understand government a lot better than he does.
Notice the media, Democrats, they all say the same words at the same time. You got conspiracy theorists, Rachel Maddow using that same word earlier in the week. Now she's using it. Now soon everybody will use it. Someone should let that aspiring governor know that, unlike her, Donald Trump actually won his election, is now rightfully fulfilling his duties as president. But remember, Democrats now only care about democracy when they win. If they lose, all bets are off. In fact, America's biggest city could soon be led by an actual communist who wants to upend our entire system and empower his regime to seize private property, the means of production, and, tax white people more than other people. He used to have a name for that. And today, Zoran Marxist Mamdani declared that nothing will get in the way of his movement, and President Trump can't stop him, and he will be Trump's biggest enemy. I'm sure Trump is scared to death. He's probably cowering behind the new ballroom he's making at the White House. Take a look.
My approach to Washington will not be a reflexive one. It is one that will be in opposition to Donald Trump's administration when it comes for New Yorkers, when it comes at the expense of the welfare of the people that I am seeking to serve. If the president and the administration is looking to work for the benefit of New Yorkers, which is what he spent so much of his campaign speaking about, that is a different conversation. My administration would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare. And you don't need to take me at my word or take Andrew Cuomo at his. You need to only look at the actions of the Trump administration since I won the Democratic primary.
His worst nightmare, he will have no impact on Donald Trump. If Mamdani wins in the fall, it's simple. That's just bad for the state for the city of New York. It's bad for the state of New York. We don't know exactly how bad things will become. One thing is certain. We see the same thing in every blue city, every blue state run by Democrats for decades. The budget will be mismanaged. Your taxes will go up. Law and order will disappear. The quality of life will decline. You'll probably have a lot more homeless people, people shooting up in the streets. And in this case, you'll probably get free sex change operations no matter where you live in the U.S. Go to New York. They may pay for your airfare and they may pay for your hotel. The same exact thing is happening right under Chicago's far left mayor. Take a look.
We have reached a point of no return. The systems that people rely upon, education, healthcare, housing, our transportation, they are woefully underfunded. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows what, my commitment is to progressive revenue. I can't do this by myself.
All right, here's the thing about the left's their love affair with Marxism, socialism, statism, whatever ism you want to put on it, it's always the same. They always have unfulfilled promises. You always end up paying more in the end. You always lose your freedom in the end. And at some point, they always run out of other people's money, as Margaret Thatcher famously said. And in the process, they destroy the spirit and innovation of a city or a state. If Americans don't have the numbers to break one-party rule at the ballot box, they will vote with their feet. And I can tell you from experience, states like mine, I'm in the free state of Florida tonight. By the way, weather's very good all year long, and it's very welcoming. So is Texas, so is Tennessee, so are the Carolinas. By the way, if you're a socialist and you want to come to any of those states, leave your stupid policies at home. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.